Now, can you believe it has already been 30 episodes and we're already about 2 months into playing the Just Create? And I tell you what, it has been one heck of a blast working with all of these guys, getting all kinds of cool contraptions built up in this world. And it's been quite interesting seeing all of you guys' responses to me playing on an SMP, as I haven't done it in quite a long time. And I tell you what, I can't do it without you guys. So you know what? Thank you guys so very much for watching all the way up to this point, because typically at episode 30 is where I would usually start to see a decline, or even before that in viewership. But you guys have stayed super consistent, and I've got to say, props to that. And props to that because you guys have somehow managed to keep up with my upload schedule. But believe it or not, this is actually slower than I usually upload, as I've only been able to manage about 3 videos a week by playing on this server. Typically, I'd be able to get 6 to 7 videos out a week. I know, I'm a madman, but I've been doing this pretty consistently over the last few years, all the way since 2017, when I decided to start making YouTube videos in the first place. And so I just gotta say that just because we're on episode 30 doesn't mean we've gotten anywhere close to calling it quits here. No. And I know that might sometimes be the case with some mod packs, but this is more of a community thing. So even if I was to start a new series down the road, this one will also still be published here. At least until we all, like as a group, call it quits. Now, after all of that and me thinking you guys, there are some things that I do want to get done today. And I have some major plans. We ended up getting our logistics system set up, but this is only one minor part, technically, of the entire project that I have planned for the future. See, you remember this hill right here? Yeah, this one. This hill I have planned to place a chocolate factory on, and the one that I was inspired from whenever I visited Orlando. And see, to make that chocolate factory, I needed several things. For example, I needed some bone meal, I needed cocoa, I needed sugar cane, some sweet berries, and also wheat. But there's actually another ingredient that I need significantly more than all of these combined. Milk. Yeah, that's right. I'm needing milk. Lots of it. So that means milk factory, baby. And this area right over here would be the perfect place to house a milk factory. How about right next to my lava? Yeah, maybe we can put a milk factory right here, or we could even put one in the wall over here. Ooh, you know what? It might make a lot more sense if it's in the wall that is connected to the train track. That way we can take some of that milk and we can ship it over to our storage area. Now, this isn't going to be your old run-of-the-mill boring cow milking farm. No. I have better plans than just a plain Jane, just have it be clicked and that's it. I actually have a plan, and I've gotten a lot of inspiration specifically from videos, like learning how cow farms actually work. Like, how do we get the milk that we actually drink for breakfast? And it turns out there's a lot of different ways that cows can be milked. Of course, you have the good old-fashioned way, by hand. You have them going into stalls and being connected up to a machine that does it. And then you also have carousel machines that basically keep the cows sort of slowly rotating and being worked on by a technician. And this is kind of what I want to do. See, I want to have a carousel set up that is spinning the cows around. I think that would be not only hilarious, but it would actually be functional and kind of, you know, real to life. I mean, I will say this is going to be purely decorative more than it is fully functional. It will function, but you could just have a single cow being clicked over and over and over again. They're pretty resilient fellas, you know, but I kind of want to give some of the cows, you know, time to recoup, you know, some of their milk. You know, that would be really nice of us. And it would be very evil of us to not allow the cows to have some resting periods. I know cows like to be milked and all, but, you know, like giving them a little bit of a breather wouldn't be bad. And I tell you what's going to be the hard part is figuring out how we're going to move around all of this milk, you know, because we could send the milk via packages. Oddly enough, we could send milk buckets into packages and then ship it over to a container area, but we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Now, we did get approval to be able to get the chunk loader mod, so that will be coming soon, but we don't have it just yet. So within the next couple of episodes, we should have chunk loaders. That's gonna be super fun to farm because the chunk loaders do have their own cool mechanic that you have to go do to get them to work, but that's besides the point. I still can't wait to like figure out like fluid logistics. I know there's add-on mods that I did see that can send fluids, but in reality, that mod really just seems like it's doing the same thing as sending a bucket minus the whole bucket part. I mean, because yeah, technically you could just send a bucket straight through like a package. Like it makes total sense. Like you can do that. And then you can have it deposited on the other side and then stored temporarily inside of a fluid container of some sort. And you can have like a factory gauge, possibly read the contents, or maybe you can control the setup maybe with some redstone by determining if that is filled or not. I mean, there's a lot of options. So now figuring out how am I going to get this to fit in here. So the carousel, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little spinny farm that happens over here. So we're going to have, I mean, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Like it's going to be out like 3 blocks from the center. Like I'm definitely not going to be making like a huge carousel that like covers the entire room. That would be ridiculous. But I was thinking like maybe here somewhere I could have like a water wheel. I want a water wheel actually exposed like this so I can see that that is actually spinning, and it kind of sticks out just enough over a block to give it a really cool look. But I do actually want this water wheel that powers everything to go underneath. And the reason I want it to be a power wheel is a water wheel is because the water wheel spins at just the right speed for what I'm wanting. So we need this to be the one that's actually doing the spinning. And I think I can get away with just putting some water right here. And I love to have consistency, and I always like to have my things spinning in a clockwise motion. Now this one's not going to be generating any stress, but it is going to be spinning, and it's going to look kind of nice here. And yes, technically this is going to be another spinning contraption farm. You know what? I just can't get away from them, but they look so cool. Now let's go ahead and make this carousel. Right on the top, I think I'm going to do some weathered iron. Let's see, some girders that go like this. And then I need the place for our seats to set on, because this is where our cows are actually going to go. And I think I'm just going to attach that to the girder underneath. Go about 3 blocks out. That seems long enough, I think. Now, this is only going to have room for 4 seats, but I do want more than that. So I'm thinking we do something like this. And maybe in between here, we can place in some depots. That might work. Actually, you know what? I might have the depots raised up. If I can I place the depot on top there? Ooh, that might be too high. You know what? That'll actually be perfect. What I'll do is I'll just extend the girders out one, and then I definitely got to make sure that they are connected. Now, believe it or not, the depots are going to serve a purpose. You'll see momentarily. Now, continuing the bottom section, I want to go ahead and use some of this, the polished cut deep slate, which looks really, really close to the actual texture of the girders. And so it does have that like metal look to it. And we're going to actually carry on that look with some copycat steps that are going to go right here on the outside, and just slap some of this on here. And then last but not least, we got to get the seats placed in. And yeah, I want a couple of them to be brown because cows can be messy. You know, they make mistakes or purposes. I really don't know. Now the depots, those are going to be used to hold hay bales. Yes, this is going to be their troughs where they actually get the food. I'm sure this one can reach. Yeah, no problem. And that right there is going to be the carousel. This is what's going to spin these cows around. And we should be now fine to simply glue the thing together. So now I think I have everything glued. It looks like an absolute mess, but I promise it is glued to the best of my ability. I did glue the actual center point here, the bearing, but I think it actually disregards the fact that the bearing is here. And so let's go ahead and right click. And there it goes. I mean, the carousel is ready. This is going to be perfect. And this is where my cows are going to rotate. Oh, that's wonderful. Now I'm just going to get some cows on here. That's going to be a thing. Now, the way you can actually get them onto moving contraptions is with leads. So if I grab my buddy Phil over here real quick, let's go ahead and take Phil and put him on here. I could just right click them, I think, on here, but the default way is by using a lead. You just right click and then you click them onto the seat and they'll just jump immediately to the seat. So now I've got to go collect several more cows for this operation. Now, while Chosen One is off searching for some cows to place into his farm, Yeah, I'm the chosen two that has been streaming, and I did stream a little bit yesterday, and there was some shenanigans that I ended up discovering. See, I haven't been to spawn in a little bit of time, and I noticed there's a new ad here. Eggs, shells, and bits. Eggs, sells, shells in his shop. I absolutely love that. We're gonna have to check that out. But I was going up here and I was looking at the villagers, and I noticed something very, very strange. I noticed there was a lectern up here, and it says lag police fine. And it says lag police fine. The man from the flywheel mod said your villagers are laggy. Therefore, you have been fined 50 diamonds to be paid immediately. And each day these villagers are not moved will incur further fines. Please make all fines payable to the lag police payment chest at the train station. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a good day. Mom? Ma'am? Ma'am? Mom? LP. What does LP stand for? But now, like, all of this seems very strange. Why would my vanilla villagers be causing lag? They're sitting literally on seats, removing all of their pathfinding. So I don't think my villagers are causing the lag. And whoever this flywheel guy is, I don't even know you. But I did go ahead and seat down several of my other villagers because I did have a few villagers that were just free roaming inside of a container. Not pushed together or anything mad like that, but they are kind of sitting here. And I was checking, is this the actual problem and causing actual lag? Turns out, no. But I have been trying my best to help reduce the frame lag here at spawn. There is quite a lot of it, and I will admit that it's definitely here. Like, we do have frame rate drops at spawn, but like, I don't know, it doesn't really seem all that laggy here, especially when you consider just how much is going on. But I did go ahead and remove my water wheels because I don't need that because I'm hooked up to Beardy Power Co. And if there is anything that I have learned from water wheels, when they are all packed together in one chunk area, yeah, they can get kind of FPS lag hungry. I mean, there's a lot of parts in that model and it's got to render them all. So I guess I can go ahead and pay off my fine that I guess I owe, even though I don't necessarily agree with it. I've really got to figure out who this lag police is and give them a visit. I mean, the container looks kind of sketchy as well. Lag police fine payments? What? It's not even a, it's just a oak sign on a, what? This screams devious to me. I don't know. It's really hard to know, and I don't like to disobey and not, I'm just gonna go ahead and pay my fine. Just like a traffic ticket, just because I paid it doesn't mean I wanted to. But yeah, another thing I ended up doing over here in the back was I essentially shut off my farm, and to be able to shut off the villager farm, which only produces 3 extra villagers, was just to remove the extra beds and the extra composters, because they actually won't breed unless there is another place for their little babies to go. Now, I did happen to see the lovely advertisements of Egg's new shop. So Egg did add a shop over here. Nice. We have another pathway. Oh, this is looking really, really good. Eggs, shells, and bits. That is really hard to say for some reason. Shells. He's got a nice little shop. Oh, look at this little guy. Coming soon after dungeon. Ooh, we got some frog ports and storage. I would really love to buy that. Oh, I need that like right away. Anyways, there's a lot of shulker shells up here. What are those? Like, how are those being displayed? That's a copycat panel? Wait, what is that? How are the... Oh, they're shulker boxes. Oh, wait, how are they being displayed like that? That's cool. Oh, you know what? We do have like an armor stand poser mod, so I bet there's like an armor stand back here that's like reaching the item that it's holding. Ah, I bet that's what that is. Anyways, how expensive are your shulker shell? Ooh, wait, 16 for one? And also selling the barrels? What? I had to go out and farm these things. That is so many. Now I have the barrels, but I am going to buy these 32. How much for the barrels? 1 diamond for 32 chests. You know what? I will buy. And then this is our, where's our return box? This one? Wait, how do we get our items? It's got to be around here somewhere. Where? Oh, maybe I should just follow the arrows. Perfect. So now we have a package and I can toss this up in the air. I wonder if I can grab it. Probably not fast enough. No, not fast enough. Nice. And I think all of these shells are definitely coming from the giant thing you've probably seen in the back on the top of a mountain behind my area. And yeah, definitely be sure to check out Eggs' video. I don't want to spoil that any further than I already have, but definitely be sure to check out his video when it drops. And if you haven't subscribed to Eggs, definitely be sure to do so. Of course, you can find his link down in my description. He's been on quite a while working on that farm. It has taken him a long time, a lot of trial and error. It has been absolutely crazy hanging out with him and while he's been working on that as well. Now, also during that stream, I did work on something that was kind of ridiculous. I went ahead and decorated my drill a little bit, and I mean a little bit. I now have a 31 by 31 drill, and it has a special name called the Discrete Destroyer. And discrete is an interesting thing to call it. But what I will do is I'm going to go ahead and give it a redstone signal here just to make sure. I want to place it down so that way you guys can get a look at this. So this is my drill. I just decorated the back, added some stuff to it, added some storage vaults, so that way it had significantly more storage and ways to access those storages. And I also added some cauldrons down here. That way when it is in its locked position like this, where we can actually interface with these, I can just simply flip a lever like this with a wrench, and it will dump the stuff into the lava cauldron, and these will actually get carried with it. Which is pretty nice. But the lava cauldron doesn't work when it's in its like entity form like it is right now. It has to be in its physical form. Same with these. You can't access them unless they're in the actual physical form. But yeah, you can crawl up the ladders and everything while it's moving. You can come up here. You can stay on these while it's moving. Very, very functional. And I've already used it quite a bit and done quite a bit of drilling. It is very, very fancy. And honestly would be crazy dangerous if I let this thing loose here and spawn, because it would annihilate anything in its path. So yeah, my deep slate problems are no more. No longer will I run out of the deep slate, and I've also torn up a few chunks in the nether. Yeah, no big. But it is starting to give me a little bit of anxiety having this just sitting there. So you know what, especially pointed right at my shop, I'm just gonna go ahead and pack it back up and let's just pretend you didn't even see that thing. Oh man, you know what? I might actually use Egg's shop quite a bit because there's a lot of cool textures and stuff like that that you can do and use with shulker boxes, and not just specifically using them as a storage. And believe it or not, it can extend our vault space by quite a lot. They do take up one inventory slot inside of the vault, and that gives that inventory slot 27 slots. Essentially making our storage hold way more. But you know, as Chosen 2, I'm gonna get back to doing Chosen 2 things, and hopefully Chosen 1 already has those cows put in there. I'm sure he does. Yeah, this works. Just gotta land in water, not to kill them all. I think that would be fine. And up we go. Little uppies. And then of course we can't forget our other cow. There we go. They all look good. So perfect. Now that we have all of our cows on here, it's time to get the milker set up. I didn't think I was going to be saying that today. And I was trying to think where would be a good place for the milker. And I think right here might actually be perfect. That way we can honestly see it. And if we place it just like this, believe it or not, it can actually interact with the cows. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe I also would want it in the center. I really don't know. I mean, this could be interesting. Like we could even turn it sideways and give it power from the top via a shaft. But if it was placed right here like this, we would still have to have some way to interface with it. You know what? I think I'm just going to stick with it being right here and figure out the logistics. Yeah, here in a second. But yeah, that speed is very slow, but yeah, that's nothing a simple rotational speed controller can't solve. And I mean, honestly, that's a whole lot faster right there. Now, when it comes to handling the logistics here, because of the position where this is at, it is going to have a bucket. The bucket then is going to be filled, so we're gonna have to filter that. So it's gonna have to be going, it's gonna go up a belt, and then we're going to have a drain over here somewhere that is going to drain the milk out and hopefully store it into some containers that we're going to have over here. Then I need to route it back. So I'm thinking what I can do is I could use like a barrel, and I could just send the item into the barrel, and this will allow me to directly route it on a corner angle. I think that'll be pretty good. Specifically, since I'm going down, I want it to match the other side. We'll have that go down, and then the belt will just end up sending it over on the drains, and the drain's going to have the same situation. We're going to have a funnel here, then the funnel will output onto this drain line, and then over here we'll have another barrel that will then take it and then funnel it out here. Like that should work out really well. Like if it's just doing this number, like, yeah, we just got to make sure that it's going correct. And same on this, like that should work out perfect. Just make sure that's sending in and that's sending out. Same on this, that's sending out. This is going in, and so on and so forth, right? Now receiving power, I just connected into my chain conveyor over here to get us to a nice amount of speed. Thankfully, we don't really need much stress over here. Hey, you know, go kill my cows. Look at this guy. He's shooting my cows. I'm sorry, guys. But now to transfer the energy from this belt to this belt, we can do a little trick with our pump right here, which, believe it or not, works perfect. If we connect a cogwheel here and here, this will then pump the fluid directly out of that, and also keeps the conveyor belts going in the same direction. So now I just got to get my tank put in just like so, and we kind of can let this rip. I think I just need to set the filter to be a milk bucket, being the only thing that's allowed out of here. So yeah, I think that is all, right? So if we just grab a milk bucket just like that, and then place that as the filter, I can toss this along, that will go there, drop the milk goes in the container, and then if all is well, there it goes. It just sent another bucket, and I think it went along the filter correctly. Should loop around. There we go. Grabs another milk bucket, and look at that. We are now generating infinite milk. So perfect. We have a cow carousel set up. But now the hard part, decorating. So on the floor, I'm adding a little bit of tuff in the like corner areas that would be a little bit dirtier, right? I'm kind of adding this, but the floor is mostly mud anyway, so it being considered dirty is kind of funny, I think. But there we go. A lot of the mud going in. What's going to be difficult is figuring this out. I think what I'm going to do though is on the outer edge, I'm going to run some fence, and the fencing is also going to pop up here too and be double high to kind of indicate, hey, don't go down into the pit. Now, the more I was thinking about this, the more I was like, all right, I've got to make some more muddy mangrove roots, because nothing looks more like completely ruined mud from like cow feces than that. That literally looks like a block with poop on it. I mean, now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Like it is there in your brain forever now. Now, like this is how I plan on having the like kind of border set up, where we're gonna add a fencing just like this. Now with all of the copycat panels in, it looks pretty good, but I'm still missing some lighting. I also added some dripstone, and I can't believe we already have 186 buckets in here worth of milk ready to be shipped somewhere else. And you can see we have a nice little area down here to walk through, but like I said, lighting's still an issue. And I also kind of want to add the girders in to make it match the other areas. For example, I have girders here running through, and I can add some lanterns, for example, on those girders. So right along the edge, like so. And I think adding one right here, connecting directly next to the tank, would look kind of cool. And then I think I'm gonna add a girder right here, and this girder, I'm probably going to drop down just like this, and I want this to basically be dropped down into the contraption, looking like it is actually connected to it. You know what? That works. Look, it even gives us a nice little spot for a lantern. And then just like all of the others, we can add some shafts to the side here and put some brackets on them. And just like that, our cow farming carousel is set up, and we can make it even faster just by simply adding more buckets to the mix. Now, even though this farm is done, there's still some logistical things that I need to figure out. For example, do I turn this into buckets and just send the buckets into packages? I mean, I assume it can maybe hold 9 buckets per package, possibly. Since it can hold 9 stacks, I would assume that it potentially can. But how do we actually manage the requesting system? That's another problem in itself. And should we just send the fluids via this and just handle fluids with the trains? That could also be a solution as well. And I don't think it'd be too difficult to add to our truck, like that pulls in here, for example, right? to add like a fluid cart, that wouldn't be too bad, right? Like a fluid trailer, because I still need to get the milk from here over to our loading zone in some way. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I think just sending the fluid into the train is probably going to be a good idea, and then potentially handling the fluids later on, because I'm like, how do I get the buckets back? All of that fun jazz. Yeah, it starts to get a little bit more complicated. Now, thankfully, the loading of all of this should be pretty straightforward and easy. We just need to run a pipe over here, and there's a fluid interface that allows us to connect directly to trains. The same way we do with items, I just end up needing to connect it to a train. And so we just need to power this pump, and then we also need a few pipes as well that just get ran, I mean, straight into this, actually not into the basin, because that can actually accept fluids. And connection into power is not going to be that hard either, because we just need to place a gearbox here and then simply place in a cog. So that is going to give that power, and it has nowhere to go as of right now, but it won't pump until there is something to connect here. And now my train has actually been off because we've been encountering some crashing issues with it actually traveling through the nether. Me and Eggs both have encountered that. Don't quite know why, but yes, this has been causing some crashing, but I am going to go ahead and fire it back up just so I can do all of this. I just need to put the train schedule in so I can get it back over here. And the crashing could be caused by a many of things. It could be some of the mods that we have in here. It could be Create itself. It's really hard to know. But what we do know is it is happening, I think, when it is traveling into the actual portal itself and coming back on the other side. So the portal may have to go in the future, but I mean, even if it does have to go in the future, it's not going to be too bad. It's not like it's traveling a huge distance after all. So now to add a cute little fluid car, I'm going to place a temporary train station so that way I can pull into it. And yeah, decommission our train temporarily so I can bring it apart, because we do have to add another bogie to this. And let's undo that. Perfect. And yeah, I'm thinking like I want it pretty close. It is just going to be a single bogie that is going to look like these wheels right here, kind of looking like a cart that it's pulling. So that seems to be close enough. And I don't know. I think these can be single like this. I mean, there is only one way to tell, right? We just place that block on top, making sure it has something there, and then assemble bogie attached to 3 bogies. No structure attached to bogie 3. Okay. No structure attached. Like that's a structure. Does it specifically have to be glued like this? Maybe it does. Let's see. Let's just see. Okay, resolve and retry. Okay, it has to be probably 2 cars, I bet. Oh, that is going to make things a little bit weirder. Like, let's try that. And let's see. Okay, no, it still doesn't want to work. Oh, you know what? I'm a complete dork. I forgot that this has to be attached from the bottom. You would think with as many trains as I've done so far that it would work. Okay, yes. I can just have one attached. So, I mean, yeah, this is going to be the foundation for a cute little fluid car. Okay, just like that, there is going to be our connector. And then we're going to have a few tanks on here. Let me just make sure we get everything set up here. So I'm thinking we do like, you do like a 2x2 tank, maybe? It is right here. And we can make a couple of, we could do like a singular one that's a little bit taller. Like that seems okay to me. We can even do like a smaller one right here. Small one here. One over here. And we just kind of fill this in with like smaller sections. Let's make this a little bit taller. Let's see. This is, yeah, that's probably connecting to some other stuff. So yeah, I'm going to break through these. So I think this is going to work. I have some pipes that just lead up here for decoration. The center is actually what's filled out. And yeah, I think I decided that looks a whole lot better. Ends up the whole capacity here. I think each of these individual tank sections hold 24 buckets. So this actually holds quite a lot. And I think once it's fully contraptioned, it's gonna hold quite a bit more. But yeah, it's just all setting on one single wheel, and it's going to be connected to the back of the truck here. which I think is gonna look good. It still looks like it's like a truck. And of course, much like you want from a trailer, most of the weight is towards the front of the trailer, when the wheel further in the back. That prevents all of that crazy, chaotic, you know, trailer flipping and flopping that could happen in the back if you have the weight back there. So now I just gotta glue it all together, and this might be one of the easiest glue ups, because I just need to glue this section and connect it up here, and I think that gets everything. All right, so let's contraptionify it. There's our train put together, and it is connected right there. I have my pump turned off, otherwise it would actually start filling this. But yeah, I think the train station is even in the exact correct position. So that means that we can just simply name this train station and add it to our list. Now, back at the other station, that's where we're going to have to add a unloading station and hopefully have ourselves some tanks. And this also has me thinking, see, what we could also do is we could send lava from our farm into our container here as well. But if we have the same train doing it, we might run into some issues where this would potentially completely fill with milk. But there is ways that we can actually prevent that and detect it using those valves that you see on here, because you can actually threshold switch the interface here, and you can read how much is stored inside of this inventory, meaning that if it got past a certain point, we could have it shut off and we could have it completely flip one of these valves. But that's a problem for future Chosen, as right now I've just got to get this unloader set up. So back on the other side, all I need to do is connect in the portable interface. We have ourselves a pump, and then I'm just going to run a shaft through here and then connect in a cog, and then that will pull all of the fluid out. Now, this is where, like I said, there's going to be some issues later on if we try to put lava into this network, but that might be something that we figure out later on, because as of right now, I have no idea how I'm going to set that up. Right now, the milk is the main priority because this is what's going to hook into our chocolate factory, and that is the thing that I really need. Now, on the other side, it is also just going to consist of a pump, and I don't know fully yet where this is going to take place, but I just temporarily am going to place in some pipes. And let's just say that we have that going here and into another interface, blah, blah, blah. And then this one could potentially be lava. And so to pop back into the train and to try and line that section up, probably going to be, it shouldn't be too bad, right? We can line this up, and then we've got to remember it's one block in front. All right, I went too far. Somewhere here. There it goes. Perfect. Okay. So now that we know the position, we just need to add our train station, right, to this right in front. Now we also want to make sure it's going the same direction as this side. I think this will work. Like it will continue going straight. We just have to program our schedule in a very specific way to allow this to work. So this will go here facing that direction. And then on the other side, I can just place in my station. These will probably get changed in the future, but we just want it to be milk, unloader. And the other side is milk loader. What a funny name. But there we go. So that is in place. And we can fill this back in. And that's basically it. Time to program the schedule. So these are going to be the same. We can actually duplicate our settings here, so it saves us a little bit of time. And then on the farm load, we actually don't want it to be farm load. This one should be... let's set the first one to farm, or no, wait, milk unloader. No, milk loader. And then on the next one, this will be milk. I think once we actually get it to read, it takes a moment for it to like realize that there's other things on here. I don't know why the other station ended up working. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. You have to clear the field and it actually works. Okay. And then this one's going to be loader. And then we just got to kind of move these about. You can actually move them up or down. So I'm thinking farm load should be first. Then we go to the milk loader because that's the next in the list. And then after that will be the unloading of the items. So farm unload. So let's move that down. And then it will be, the next stop will be the milk unload. I think that's everything. So yeah, I think it should look like this: farm load and then milk load. That's going to take packages first, then it's going to do the milk and load that in. Then it's going to jump all the way over, and then it's going to hit the farm unload, and then it's going to hit the milk unload, and then it's going to rinse and repeat. Okay, I think that schedule should hopefully work. Just got to pop it in and then make sure our train reaches all of its stations. I know it's not going to load anything just yet, simply because of chunk loading issues, which will be solved soon. But yeah, as of right now, that should work. I hope. And here it comes back through the portal. It connects up, should be dropping off packages if there was any packages to be sent. It's going to wait 30 seconds. That number may have to change in the future. Don't know yet. But its next stop should be all the way up here, and we should see the milk unload. Fingers crossed it all works. I actually don't know if the milk itself can be sent through. We would actually see it being in the train if it did fill up, which it definitely didn't because it's not loaded. So yeah, I'm hoping by the next time we set this up that it will be loaded. Now it's saying no suitable path for next scheduled destination was found. It should go to the next station. Maybe I did this wrong. I did do it wrong, and you're probably yelling at me because instead of milk loader, it's unloader. But I put loader. So everything else, everything should be good. Milk unloader. Let's just move this. Perfect. Milk unloader. Set that. That's good. As soon as I put this in, it should move to the next area, I hope. Okay. Success. Okay, perfect. And then it's going to tap into that. Lock in. Okay. Now we are good. This is crazy looking though. Do you know what? That, my friends, is what I would call a very successful milk farm. Oh, this is working out phenomenally. By the way, I can go ahead, pop that on here. That should fill up and start actually filling up our train with our milk. It's going to get this started back over again. Oh, things are going to be going very, very smooth very, very soon. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that chocolate factory, because I know I am, and I'm pretty excited to get all of these components over there and actually start making some chocolate for the server and other treats as well. Who knows? We're all going to have super cavities before long, and we're going to have to like hire a dentist to make sure we're all fine. But yeah, I might become the dentist. Isn't that how that works? Right? The one serving all of the candy owns the candy store. Oh, that just seems like the perfect business model. But if you enjoy videos like these, of course, guys, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a huge thumbs up. And yeah, in respect for all these cows over there working really, really hard. Guys, also be sure to check out the description. There's a lot of interesting things down there, including links to all of the other members on the server and also our Discord. So you might want to check that out. There is an SMP Discord. We have a community over there. If you want to discuss things that are actually happening over here, feel free to do that over there. Or if you have any modded Minecraft questions in general, feel free to pop on over to my Discord, where you will easily be able to have those answered. And also follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect, where we do live stream a lot of our projects. So definitely be sure to check that out as well. Guys, thank you so very much for watching. And speaking of the Discord, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go out to Quality. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. You absolute boss. And guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And you know how it goes. As always, thanks for watching.